Hello there, and welcome to Live with the Paper Pixie, episode 303. I'm Julie DiMatteo, the Paper Pixie, coming to you live from Alpharetta, Georgia. Today is Wednesday, October 18th, 2023. We've got some fall projects for you tonight. I've got a show-off fun fold to show off both sides of your designer series paper, and a tiny table favor that is actually holding 4 Andes mints. So as you're rolling on in, if you're watching us live, say hello and where you're watching from. If you're new here, let us know in the chat and my amazing community will give you a big warm welcome. They're so amazing. Let's see, Brian, are you ready for your cameo? Brian is watching for your questions tonight. If you do have a question, we have a big favor to ask of you. Be sure to put a Q in front of that question. That will make it into my queue when we do the live Q&A at the end of the live stream. I'll save all of your questions till the end. And please do save that queue for questions only. That will make sure I can get to everybody's questions. Let's see. When you shop with me, you earn Pixie Perks on orders of $25 or more. Just use my magic shopping link, thepaperpixie.com/shop. That will auto-magically have you shopping with me in my online store, as well as my current host code will be applied to your order. Now, if your order is $150 or more, make sure to remove that host code because you're going to earn Stampin' Rewards on that order, and you'll still earn Pixie Perks from me as well. We have an amazing starter kit special this month through October 31st to celebrate Stampin' Up's 35th anniversary. We've got 2 options available, either 35% off the price of the starter kit or 35% more in product in the starter kit. So what that equates to is $64.35 for $125 in product, or $99 for $168.75 in product, all product of your choice. So it is a customized starter kit. If you've got a long wish list, it's a great time to purchase the starter kit. All the perks that come with being a demonstrator, like the discount and pre-orders, especially our demonstrators only events. The other perk of the starter kit this month is that you get free registration to our Onstage at Home event, which is on November 11th. It's a virtual demonstrators only event. If you can't attend on November 11th, no problem. There is a replay to watch. That is a $77 value that you're getting for free. And you also get the ability to purchase the Be Home or the Be Mine suite. I keep saying Be Home because I think that used to be one of our suites. The Be Mine suite you'll get to purchase as a perk of being registered for Onstage at Home. So an amazing starter kit deal. I would love to have you on my team of Paper Pixies and enjoy all the benefits that come with being a demonstrator. Really quickly, I was already skipping ahead. Just wanted to let you know I do have the option to support the channel with a YouTube membership. Nothing changes on the channel. I will always continue to go live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. My channel members, however, if you'd like to support the channel, you get some additional perks that come with that. Tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Time is going to be our first members only stream. So those that are Pixie patrons, it's $4.99 per month. You can join simply by clicking the join button that's to the left of the subscribe button here on YouTube. You can join the Pixie patrons. Our first live stream, episode 1, is going to be tomorrow. And you also get priority replies to comments, your name featured in the credits at the end of the live stream, behind the scenes content, which I forgot to post some today, and then members only polls as well. So that's the scoop there. I also wanted to point out, I recently added this on my website, thepaperpixie.com/episodes. I had a fan ask about all of my past episodes and if there was an easy way to find those. I actually put together an index for you at thepaperpixie.com/episodes, and you can go all the way back to episode 1 if you'd like. My very first live stream back in, I think it was May of 2017, I believe. So be kind. We all started somewhere, right? So there's a whole index of that. You can see which platform it's on, a link to watch the video. So that resource is available for you if that's something that you're interested in checking out. So I wanted to make sure y'all knew that was there. All right, so quick sneak peek. I've got a little bit of show and tell from Nolan, and then we'll jump right into tonight's projects. Again, the Show Off Fun Fold. I want to give a shout out for the inspiration to both Jessica Taylor and Susan Campfield. They both shared different versions of this technique. This is just another slightly modified version as well. And then this cute little tiny table favor that I've got 4 Andes mints in there. And it's just a really easy treat box to put together. I can see myself making a bunch of these for swaps. I love this. I love this. You guys know that I love my little tiny treat holders. So, show and tell from Nolan. He's got 3 Stitch drawings for you. He is going to be Stitch for Halloween. Surprise, surprise. Aside from Lego, he is Stitch obsessed as well. This is Lilo and Stitch, the Disney character. So he's started a binder of his Stitch drawings. So he wanted to share the 3 that he has drawn this week. So super fun. Stitch is a little bit of a rebel too, isn't he? No wonder Nolan loves Stitch. I'm kidding. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start with the Fun Fold because I think that's the project that I've got on the top. Let me quickly share with you the products we're using today. Just a quick highlight of those. We've got the Autumn Leaves bundle. We've got the Autumn Leaves stamp set and the Autumn Leaves dies. I think there's a couple that I have out. I love these dies because of all the elements that are in it, but especially the labels. This is another label that comes with the Autumn Leaves, but it's got that stitching effect as well as die cutting. So Autumn Leaves bundle we're using tonight. We're using the Inked Botanicals 6x6 Designer Series paper, which is great. Joanne, welcome! Which is a great paper not to be overlooked for fall projects. If you're looking for some fall paper, I know that the beautiful Designer Series paper from the mini catalog has been very hard to get. But we've got a couple of options, the Garden Walk Designer Series paper and the Inked Botanicals I would recommend for fall papers. Then we've got the Leaf Fall 3D embossing folder. And then I just brought in the Medley Mix stamp set. This coordinates with the Inked and Tiled punch pack. We're going to use this punch today. Some of you have asked about the price of the punch pack. It is $40, but that's because you get 2 punches in it. So, but the Inked and Tiled bundle in the annual catalog, this Medley Mix stamp set from the mini catalog coordinates with that bundle. So I love the crossover there. And I'm also going to bring in the Modern Oval punch. We're going to use that to create this curved edge here, but you could use a circle punch as well. So anything that you've got in your stash. Alrighty. Get my pieces and parts here. Actually, I'm going to cut a full sheet of Lost Lagoon to show you how easy this is to make. And as always, I recommend if you're bringing out all your supplies, always make at least 2 cards. Where's my Lost Lagoon here? All right, so I've got a full sheet of Lost Lagoon. I'm going to show you how you can score and cut and end up with 2 card bases. So this is 8.5 by 11. I'm going to go ahead on the 8.5 inch side. I'm going to score it at 4 1/4. Make sure you move your cutting blade out of the way. We've all done it. Use the cutting blade instead of the scoring blade. So 4 1/4. And then I'm going to slide this all the way to the left. I love the paper trimmer from Stampin' Up! Because right here is exactly 6 inches. And then we're going to cut at 6 inches. So again, 8.5 by 11 along the 8.5 inch side. I scored at 4 1/4, and then I'm cutting at 6. Okay. So we're going to bring this back in just a moment. I'm then going to turn it to the long side or the 11 inch side and cut this at 5 1/2. So what we end up with for this Show Off Fun Fold is 2 card bases that are already cut and scored. All right. Now this piece which is, let's see, it's 2.5 inches wide, 2.5 by 11. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this down to 1.5. And then the 1.5 inch piece, I'm gonna turn to the long side and cut 2 pieces to 5 1/4. And then what you end up with is you've got this, you have this 1 inch by 11 inch scrap piece and then this tiny scrap piece, which some of you have asked, would I save something like this? No, that's going right in the trash. But I would save something like this for sentiments or punches, that type of thing, okay? So what we end up with are 2 card bases and then 2 panels that we're going to, well, if you were making 2 cards, I'm just gonna make one for you tonight, but these are gonna be, this is one of the panels that we're going to emboss, all right? So this again measures 5 1/4 by 1.5. This measures 5 1/2 by 6, scored at 4 1/4, all right? So, now I'll bring in my pieces and parts. So that piece was already cut and scored. Again, reminder, 5 1/2 by 6, scored at 4 1/4, 5 1/4 by 1.5. I've got a 5 1/4 by 4 inch piece of basic white. That's gonna go on the inside. This from the, because I can never remember the names of things, the Inked Botanicals Designer Series paper. This piece measures 5 1/4 by 3, which means you can get 2 of these out of a sheet of 6 by 6. You're gonna have just a 3/4 inch strip at the bottom. So 3 by 5 1/4. I think the one that I shared that I was inspired by Jessica Taylor, gosh, that was probably back maybe about a year ago. If you remember my 12 by 12, it was a card pouch, an A2 card pouch made from a 12 by 12. She used, I wanna say it was 4 by 5 1/4. This is 3 by 5 1/4, so you can actually get a few more pieces from a 12 by 12 or 2 from a 6 by 6. And then I've just got a scrap piece of basic white, and I've already die cut these ahead of time, but we will stamp and die cut the sentiment, all right? So let's put stuff off to the side here. The first thing I'm gonna do is on this piece, I'm gonna go ahead and fold and burnish. So I'm gonna take the side that I scored on is a valley score line. I'm gonna turn that into a mountain fold by folding it backwards, like that, and burnish. Like so, okay? Now, this part is kind of fun to do. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm lining up that 5 1/4 by 3 inch piece of Designer Series paper like so. There's another way that you can do this as well. Bring in your paper trimmer if you like. And I'm gonna do it this way. Some of you prefer to line up things, I don't have a whole lot of space here, but along the bottom, you could use the bottom or the top. I'm kind of like using sort of a 45-degree angle here where I can go ahead and line up those edges. And then I'm gonna take liquid glue and I'm gonna go ahead and run a line of liquid glue. Now, if you wanted to eyeball this, you absolutely could. You don't have to use a paper trimmer to do this. I'm doing a line of glue right there on that right edge. Again, this is upside down. And then I'm just gonna do a line of glue on the back side of this. This is just helping you having everything in the corner and lined up. Having the glue on the edge of the Designer Series paper and then on the edge of the cardstock means when you fold this down, the glue is gonna go right where you need it and not where you don't need it, okay? Like so. So, just like that. You've got about, I don't know if you can see that on the edge there, about 1/2 inch of overlap of the Designer Series paper and the cardstock, okay? So if you wanted to, you could use your paper trimmer, the Simply Scored, something that's got that sort of 45-degree angle with edges there to kind of line up your cardstock, or you can do like I did, just kind of stack your paper like so, lining it up and doing the same thing. Liquid glue on the back side of the Lost Lagoon and on the front side of the Designer Series paper. Okay, and this is where the show off comes from, especially with our beautiful double-sided paper. you can see both sides of the pattern. All right. Now, if you had a directional pattern, I forgot to mention this, you'd want it to be in portrait with that measurement, or you could just turn your card to landscape if you wanted. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp on the scrap paper as well. We're going to try to bring out the Stampin' Cut Emboss machine just the one time. Let's see. So we're going to use Calypso Coral and the sentiment, I'm thankful. Great sentiments in this stamp set. Oh, good, Nancy. I'm glad you liked the episode index. I had fun it was a little bit of going down memory lane. Like, oh yeah, I forgot I did that project. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead, we're gonna die cut this. Get my Post-it tape out. I love the font in this set as well. Stampin' Up! Really knocks it out of the park with their sentiments. I also have my 5 1/4 by 1.5 inch piece of Lost Lagoon. We're gonna emboss that as well, but let's go ahead and cut first. Bringing in the big boy here. Looks like they're putting you to work today. All right. So I love this die because it gives you a wonderful look with that sort of polka dot stitching edge. And I love the really cool corners on that. All right, so now let's build another sandwich. We're building sandwiches tonight. So when I just cut with the dies, we did 1 and 2, and then 2, 3 cutting plates. 2, 3. 2 of cutting plate number 3. I'm gonna go ahead and take number 2 away. We've got 1 on the base. I've got the Leaf Fall. This is a 3D embossing folder, and you can tell based on its thickness. I'm gonna go ahead and line up my cardstock right where we placed that, right where I want the leaves to go. Okay, and you can kind of picture when you go to close it, what pattern is gonna be on that strip. I'm gonna go ahead and take the spine and put that going into the machine first. And then plate number 4. So all we're using for the 3D is 1 and 4 with the embossing folder sandwiched in between. Also, if you still have the clear blue plate from the Big Shot, that will work as well, okay? Then we can see our beautiful dimension here, like so. Okay, really, really pretty. All right, you know what? That one didn't get totally, we're gonna do that one more time. I'm gonna try to line it up. See how it's not embossed at the top there? The other thing you can do if you're not getting a good impression is to spritz your paper with either water or rubbing alcohol. Try that again.
It's gotta be because the plates aren't flat.
Well, I'm not using the plates on this one. Now I'm questioning myself. So with the 3D, yeah, 1 and 4. Well, we're just gonna go through back and forth a couple times. Seeing that grease on my plates. Okay, we'll go forwards. And it's not giving me a whole lot of trouble going through, so I think the tension is not as much as it should be. Let's see, before I put that away. Much better, look at that. I love this embossing folder, especially with a full sheet of like a 4 1/4 by, or 4 by 5 1/4 on a card. I love the way that that pattern is kind of up and to the right. All right, so this embossed pattern, which I love this idea from Susan Campfield, or SueStampfield.com if you're looking for her website, dear friend of mine. I love the punch that adding an embossed panel on this show-off fun fold gives. It's just such a beautiful look. Subtle because it's color or tone on tone, but it just adds the perfect amount of texture. All right. If you do have questions tonight, make sure you're putting a Q before that question. That will save Brian some work and make sure your question gets answered at the end. All right, so there we go. Now we're gonna go ahead and kind of build out the embellishment on the card here, okay? So I'm gonna bring in the linen thread. And I can't remember. Oh, Donna Dew, welcome. Thank you for joining. All right, where's my embossing folder? Right next to me. I'm just taking my embossing folder and just kind of running it along that linen thread to straighten it out a little bit. It's gonna still have a little bit of waviness to it, but we're gonna go ahead and create sort of a faux bow. And that just means I'm not tying a knot or anything. So a loop and a loop. Already planned the projects for tomorrow night for the members only stream. I'm excited. Got a little something up my sleeve for you guys. Grateful for each and every one of you. All right, so I have just kind of zigzagged it. Now when I put it on a glue dot, you'll be able to see how I did that. I'm gonna take the center of this linen thread. Ooh, you're getting a shout out, Brian, with the warped plates. All right, I'm just placing those 3 pieces of linen thread. So see, I'm literally, there's no knot. It's just like this kind of snake formation. And I'm stuck all 3 strands of that right onto a glue dot, okay? So then I'm gonna place that on the back, where am I looking for? I take your pick tool. I'm gonna place that on the back of my I'm Thankful. And I want it to go, let's see, I'm flipping it around here. So sticking that to the back, like so. So you kind of get the look of a bow behind it. I do love that the tails, one's kind of going down and one's going up. I love the look of that. If you don't, you can just twist this one to bring it down, okay? And then I'm gonna dry fit sort of how I want to layer these leaves before I start laying things down. So I think I want this is in Calypso Coral, and this one is in Crushed Curry. I think I want those to kind of go up and down, kind of like that, okay? All right. Use liquid glue. I'm kind of trying to avoid the little slits that are in the back or on that leaf so that the glue doesn't seep through. Pop that about there. A little bit of liquid glue there, and I'll have that one kind of coming down. Let's do it like that, I think. Yep, I like that. Okay. A little trio of dimensionals. So I'm kind of doing one on either side, and I'm gonna pop one right in the center, right over that glue dot, just to kind of hold that twine in place. Kind of a little double whammy there with the mini glue dot and the dimensional. And then we'll pop that. Right about there. There we go. And then the finishing touch, I love these. Again, I know we've got a lot of embellishments that are out of stock at the moment. We have some amazing embellishments that are in the annual catalog that I think are not getting enough love right now. But I love these ones that are more neutral. These are the brushed metallic dots, and I love the one that is more bronze. I think that's bronze, copper, and gold. Yeah. If I read the label, Julie. I'm gonna go ahead and grab the larger of the bronze. I'm just gonna pop that right up there just for a little bit of bling. So there, oh, and I forgot one thing. We gotta put our little liner on the inside. So again, the basic white, and this one measures 4 by 5 1/4. I'm gonna go ahead and adhere that right to the inside. If you're worried about making a mistake when you write the note to the recipient, just wait to adhere it. I usually take a whole, is this the right glue bottle? Hold on, that was the one I was using that was working. I take a whole pack of basic white and cut it down to 4 by 5 1/4. Believe it or not, that gets you 160 inserts for your cards. So they're always ready to write on, ready to put inside your cards. That's a quick tip for you there. Don't be shy about cutting up a whole pack of paper. If you've got a Staples or a FedEx that's willing to cut it for you, you can have them do that in, I think you can have them do it in 2 or 3 cuts. But I do recommend that you take a little template for them so they don't make the wrong cuts. That's, ask me how I know that has happened to me before. So there we go. There is our show off fun fold. Perfect for fall, Thanksgiving, really nice card to let somebody know you're thankful for them. Okay, so that's the fun fold. Let's go ahead and jump into the 3D project, which is so easy. Here's another recap of what we're making. Believe it or not, all this uses is a 3 by 6 inch piece of designer series paper. So paper conscious, you can get a whole bunch of these out of a 12 by 12. And obviously 2 out of a 6 by 6 here. Brian's feverishly typing. Thank you. All right, so I've got a piece, again, 6 inches by 3 inches. So it's just a half piece of the inked and tiled. Let's see. What are you pointing at? Oh, awesome, Connie, welcome. It hasn't come through to mine, I think, or maybe I missed it. You're on a delay, I think. Okay. Sorry if I'm missing your member joins. I appreciate every single one of you. Your name will get added to the credits for next week's show for sure. All right, so 3 by 6. Bringing in the Simply Scored because it's my favorite scoring tool. You can use the paper trimmer as well. I just find the Simply Scored's a little bit more accurate. And we're gonna go ahead and score this on the 3 inch side. I'm gonna score it 3/4 from each side. Okay, so I'm gonna do 3/4, rotate it 180, and 3/4 again. Okay, then I do recommend with this that you try to stick to non-directional paper, only because when you fold the front flap down, one of these is going to have to be upside down if you've got a directional pattern. So just keep that in mind. And then you just kind of have to decide which way it's going to go. So the way we're going to score this, technically this will be the top, or it'll be the flap that folds down. So you just have to decide which direction. Like I said, it's just much easier to pick a non-directional pattern. So we're gonna go ahead and score this, and it would be helpful if I can see my measurements. I'm using my mouse with my left hand. Look out, people. Okay, so along the 6 inch side, we're gonna score this at 1 3/4, 2 3/4, and 4 1/2. So let me repeat those measurements again. We're doing 3/4 of an inch from each side on the short side, and then we're doing 1 3/4, 2 3/4, 4 1/2. Okay. Next, I'm going to fold and burnish on all the score lines. And then, let's see. Got a template for you, so hang tight. There we go. All right, so here's our template. And I like to just, I don't know, one of these sections is just a little bit smaller. So I want to say this section is 1.5 versus the other section is 1 3/4. The 1.5 is going to be the top of your tiny table favor. Okay. Now what I'm going to do on that 1.5 inch section, I'm going to cut away the 2 side sections there. So this is my little 1.5 inch section. I'm going to cut up each of the vertical score lines, and I'm actually coming just inside the score line. Stopping at the first score line, I'm going to turn it 1/4 of a turn and just remove that rectangle right there at the first score line. Okay, so we're removing that from each side, and I'm just barely cutting away the score line. Only because I think it looks just a little bit nicer, but not a big deal if you cut right down the middle. Okay, so we've got it like that. Now we got to put in our little diagonal score lines here. And the easiest way to do that, you've seen me sort of do this design treat holder often. It's just such a great way to create treat pouches and treat holders. I'm going to just go ahead and fold in. We're going to focus on sort of one section at a time. And this this horizontal score line, we want to basically line up that horizontal score line with this folded edge. So we're going to be doing something like this. So I like to either take my bone folder or even my fingernail and put it right there where I want that fold or that diagonal to start. And bring it down. I'll bring it up to the camera in just a moment. I'm just kind of creasing with my fingernail, but you could come in with your bone folder as well. So again, horizontal score line, fold it on the diagonal to meet up with that folded edge. And what you end up with is that diagonal score line like so on the template. So what we're just going to do is rotate around and just repeat the same thing. So wherever that bottom horizontal score line is, depending on which way you're turning, you're going to line up the score line with the fold on the side. And again, use your fingernail, your bone folder to kind of start where that diagonal edge is going, or that diagonal score line, like so. So you've got something that's starting to look like this. And when you open it up, you'll see we've got these diagonal score lines kind of radiating outwards. Same thing, fold on that vertical score line. Again, looking for that horizontal and folding it to meet up with that folded edge. This is so much easier than trying to measure with a ruler and then scoring with a stylus to create that diagonal fold. You're just letting the folds help you do that manually. All right, then I'm gonna go ahead and fold. Yes, believe it or not, you already answered. I've already got the project sheets linked in the description, so you can grab those after the stream. Okay, so like so. So if I open this, you can see those 4 diagonal score lines that look just like the template here. Okay, so the next thing I'm gonna do, and I'm actually gonna use a pencil on my template here. This is not reflected in the template, so when you watch the replay, when you make this yourself, you just take a look at where I'm putting this pencil. This is where we're going to put adhesive. So from the diagonal score line outwards, you want to basically stay away from the triangles and then this middle section. That pencil I know is kind of hard to see, but that's where we're going to put adhesive. Okay. So liquid glue is my favorite for this. And I'll do one side at a time. You could do them all at once, but I'll do one side at a time just to give you kind of 2 chances to take a look at where I'm putting the adhesive. So basically the corner right up to that diagonal score line. Then I can just go ahead and fold that flat. This is a great project to make a whole bunch ahead of time and just store them flat until you're ready to fill them with treats and put them together. Okay, so that side is glued down. We're gonna repeat the same thing on the opposite side. Again, the corner to the diagonal score line. I know it looks like I'm doing a lot of adhesive here, but it's a really light touch. So again, we're leaving those little triangles alone in that middle section. Then just go ahead and fold it flat. I always say this looks like a mouth when you go like this, like a duck bill. But that's the mechanics of this treat holder. Now, we want to pretty up this little edge here, and I'll show you how I did that with the modern label punch. So again, you can do this really with any of our either oval punches, circle punches, even some of the label punches. As long as the width of your paper is either the same width or a little bit smaller, you're able to feed this right into the punch. Now, I'm just going in and feeding it right until this top edge here reaches the edge of the oval. So, because of the way that this modern oval punch is shaped, I can make sure that I'm kind of centered right to left. See, I've got about 1/8 of an inch on either side, and then I can punch. And that gives me that really cool rounded edge. Here's what the excess looks like. So I only trimmed off, I don't know, not even 1/8 of an inch, just about 1/8 of an inch. But it gives you a really nice finish. And again, you could do this with circle punches. I love kind of that rounded shape of the modern oval. So take a look at your punches and see what you have that you can do a similar thing with, okay? Tag topper punches too would work with this. I just loved that rounded edge. All right. Now, this is the tricky part. It's not too tricky. I actually designed this before I bought the Andes mints. I got my nails done today and went and bought the Andes mints afterwards. I knew their size, but it's a pretty snug fit. You can fit 4 of these in there. I found this at my local Kroger. I know that Target has these as well. I'm sure Walmart does too. You get 28 pieces in these packages. So that means you could technically get 7 table favors with 4 treats. So I'm gonna go ahead and this is the way that I sandwiched them, trying to make sure that they were a little bit slimmer as opposed to putting them all the same way. So I did 2 facing one direction and 2 facing the other because it is quite a tight fit in here. Otherwise, if it's too tight of a fit, just do 3 of them. They'll be a little bit loose in there, but not too loose. So what you need to do, well, let's talk about the mechanics of this. When it's opened, you see how those sides are closing in? You really need to make sure, and I'm kind of pinching, I'm right-handed, so I'm holding this with my left hand. I'm pinching it to get those sides basically as, I don't know, what am I trying to say? As wide open as I can get them for the best chance of getting 4. I think the serving size is technically 2 for these, but I would easily eat 4 of these after Thanksgiving dinner. All right, so those will fit right in there. Okay, and you'll see that it won't open too much because that's a tight fit, but oh my goodness, how cute is that? I love it. So let me go ahead and grab a Velcro dot. These are my favorite Velcro dots. They're listed on my favorites page. And let's see, I'm gonna take the hook side, which is the more clear side. Stick that on the back side of the flap. And then I'm gonna take my time before I press this down. I wanna make sure I'm lining up the closure there and the sides before I press that into place. But how cute is that little, it's almost like this little, I don't know, it looks like a house from the side, but it's so cute. And those Andes mints are not gonna fall out. Even with 3, they're a little bit loose, but I couldn't get any of them to fall out because there's not quite enough space for them to fall out that way. So really, really cute. Now let's go ahead and embellish this. I've got this leaf die cut from the Autumn Leaves dies out of Calypso Coral. Go ahead and do liquid glue for that. let's see. So liquid glue, and I'm gonna go ahead and put this kind of up and to the left. Like so. Actually open this. Give me a bit of a flat edge there. Like so, okay? How we doing?
You know how you can join?
Oh, join on the mobile? I'll have to look at my phone. Maybe I'll do that during the Q&A.
Sure.
One thing that you can try to do on mobile is go to the paperpixie.com/patron. And that should take you, actually, I'll try that on my phone and see if we can get it to work. All right. Now we're gonna stamp. So I got a scrap piece of basic white. I'm gonna do thanks. Now this one is coming from Medley Mix. Yes, I remembered Medley Mix. We're doing thanks. And I'm actually gonna stamp this at an angle because it works the best with the punch that we're gonna use. Let me make sure I got that inked up. There we go. I'm gonna try to go to the paperpixie.com/patron and see how it comes up for you. Channel memberships are new for me, you guys, in case you can't tell. It's my first time offering it, so y'all are helping me learn. All right, so I'm using the inked and tiled punch pack, and you'll see how it's in an X shape, so that's why I stamped the sentiment on an angle. And I'm actually gonna put this fairly close to the point here on the left, like so. We're gonna perform a little bit of surgery here. I'm gonna cut off the top 2 points of the cross, or the X. Like so. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and trim off the right side. So we got this tiny little sentiment. Again, you could absolutely cut this manually with a pair of scissors. I love using punches, especially if you're gonna make a whole bunch of these. And then we're gonna go ahead and pop that up on dimensionals there. Really simple, because this is a tiny little treat box. I'm gonna grab a trio of mini dimensionals. I love having these. As an option. You can absolutely cut down your regular dimensionals, but this actually makes things go faster if you don't have to cut down and gunk up your scissors. And you get a whole bunch of these. All right, so I'm gonna line up. I want that flat edge to be lined up on the right edge. Anything come up for you? Let's see. Like that, okay? And then we're gonna take one of the brushed metallic dots, a small one, the same bronze color. And pop that kind of towards the bottom there. Just a little bit of an added piece of texture and interest there. And there we have our tiny table favor. Size to fit 4 Andes mints. Okay, now the measurements of this, because I know you're probably wondering, we are 1 3/4 inch tall, 1.5 inches wide, and 1 inch deep. So you could probably fit some other treats in there. I think if you're in the UK, I think the Smarties might fit in here. I'm not sure how wide those are, but I was imagining that that would be a cute little candy to put in here if you're in Europe. One of these days I got to get my hands on those. I think they're called, are they Smarties? No, the Love Hearts I think is what I'm thinking of. Oh my gosh, you'll have to let me know if you're watching from the UK, which I know it's really early in the morning or late at night, whichever perspective you're looking at. But anyways, I was thinking those little rolls, I feel like they say love on them, but I would be curious if those would fit in here as well. So there are our tiny table favors, and then our show off fun folds because we can show off both sides of the designer series paper. So that's what we got tonight. Let's go ahead and tee up things for Q&A.
I posted something.
You posted something?
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Brian. All right. Let me get my keyboard out.
But I don't know where you get it on the phone.
On mobile. Let me go grab my phone really quick. Let me see. Give me one moment. YouTube app. Do you use the YouTube app, Brian?
Yeah, I try to pull up on it.
You do use the YouTube app.
No, I don't really, but
My channel.
like I didn't see it when I pulled it up. I'm fine if you wanted to do mine.
Oh, let's see.
I had to go to your website and it posted a YouTube link.
A YouTube link to the channel membership.
Right.
Yeah, it is a YouTube link. It's a pretty link. My Pixie,
Right.
paperpixie.com.
But
Well, I
can't-
see Cheryl just joined. Welcome.
And Linda.
And Linda and Celisa. You guys are awesome. Ooh, I love the questions coming in. I don't know. I may have to double check. Now, if you do have access to a computer, that I think is going to be the best way to find it. But it's a good question. I don't think I've ever joined a channel from my mobile device. Surely YouTube has that figured out, but maybe
Now
not.
they're hearing you now.
They're hearing me now. Yeah. All right. So let me pull up the questions. We'll jump into Q&A. All right. Let's see. Carol's up with question number 1. Have I ever created a treat box for a full-size Kit Kat candy bar? Carol, I did actually 3 weeks ago. I'm looking at one right now. I may have eaten the Kit Kat that was in it, but it was this Halloween one that actually similar closure to what we did tonight. The top tucks in, but this will fit a full-size Kit Kat. Trying to get this put together so you can see. It's not a box per se, but it does perfectly hold a Kit Kat. Great question. So that was episode... Which one was that? I don't know, it was 3 or 4 weeks ago. Let's see.
I tried to look on the blog. But it didn't come up.
What's that? You tried to look it up on the blog? It's-
The full Kit Kat. Nothing came up.
Oh, so go to thepaperpixie.com/episodes.
No, I know.
Oh,
I was looking for a full Kit Kat, like your history, and nothing
oh,
came
gotcha,
up.
gotcha. Christina, I'm signed up for tomorrow night, but wondering if I also need to sign up for YouTube membership. No, you do not. If you're talking about the YouTube Premium, absolutely not. That's not a requirement. The only requirement is that you have like a YouTube/Google account, which is totally free. But no, you do not have to have YouTube Premium. We don't have a YouTube Premium membership. I'm a member of a couple other channels, and that's not a requirement. That's a great question. So you just need to have an account with YouTube, and that's all you need. You do not need YouTube Premium. On the 3D swaps, who was it that made the winning pad of paper wrapped? I tried finding that video and tried to find it myself, but I wasn't able to find the video. It is the... Well, geez, side latch, fun fold, diagonal tree pad.
What did you call it?
What did I call it?
Yeah, I'll find it.
Okay. I don't think she has a video for that. So let me see if I can find the name. Hold on. It's Donna Tomasini. She does not have a website, but this is what Cheryl's asking about. Whoops. One of these days, I will do something similar. It'll be Pixified, though. I can tell you that, because that's just how I roll. But I don't believe that she's got a video tutorial. She just swapped. I don't have information about details on that, though. All right, let's see. The dimensions of the modern label punch as punched. Let's see. All right, Deanna.
Looking full.
What is it?
Talking fold?
Yes. Thank you. It is about 2 1/4 inches wide by 1 5/8 inch tall. So 2 1/4 by 1 5/8 approximately. All right. Oh, we got 2 questions in one. Look at that one. We have Carol's. Missed the tip that Brian gave about the plates. What was it? And Marianne Harris, where do you find how to get the plates flat? Oh, you combine them. They're kind of the same question. See? Oh, you're so smart. Okay, so plates. Going to attempt to describe the Brian method. So, here are the plates. Now, let's pretend that this plate, so if it's curved this way. Sorry, I just hit the mic, you guys. This one's curved, Brian. If this one's curved, and that was on the bottom, you would flip it this way to put it on top. So the curve goes down?
No.
Oh boy. So here's my flat plate, it's on the bottom. Let's say it was on the top.
Okay, so you're okay, yeah, you put the flat plate on the bottom.
Flat plate on the bottom, and you flip this.
But you do a C curve. No,
Oh.
flat C curve on the top.
Okay, so let's pretend that you've got a flat plate on the top, but your bottom plate is curved. This one's in pretty good shape, but it's curved. So Brian would take the flat one and move it to the bottom and make sure that the top plate is C curved like this. I'm turning my hand the wrong way.
Because that will flatten it out.
So that will flatten it out. And then when this gets flat and the bottom one curves, you're going to flip. Now, you may need to flip it the other way depending on which way the curve goes, but you always have the flat on the bottom and the curved one on the top is C curved or arched like that. Hopefully that makes sense. You may need, when it's your turn to do...
Well, you have to jack up your plates if I'm going to do it.
I have no problem jacking up my plates. When it's Brian's turn to do a card with you all, I'm going to have him do a little...
I'm not committed to a card.
Yes, he has. You have.
I don't do cards.
My brother got you off the hook. You were going to have to do it for episode 300.
I'm going to
remember?
remake his card.
Oh, you too.
And not the one he did live.
Oh. Tomorrow night, Sharon, it is 8 p.m. Eastern time for the members only live. So same time as today, just tomorrow. Now, if you're not available at 8 p.m. Eastern time on Thursday, don't worry. Members will have access to the replay, so you can watch the replay after it has aired. Okay? Yep, 8 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. This is episode 001.
Who asked the... I can't find the Kit Kat. Who asked
It was Carol Salaji. Carol, I don't even know if I'm pronouncing your last name right, if it's a hard G or a soft G. Let's see. So Lisa, I saw you join, so you are good to go. Thank you. So yeah, if you're on a computer, you should see a join button right next to the subscribe button on either a video or on my general channel. On mobile, TBD. I'm not sure where you find that on mobile, but I'm sure it's there somewhere. Can someone share the link to the members only stream? So Dana, when you join as a member, you should see the live stream. I scheduled it yesterday. I scheduled it yesterday, but it's for 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. You should see it on the membership tab. There's both a community tab and a membership tab. If you're a member, you'll see a membership tab and you should see that scheduled live stream. And there should have been a note, well, for those of you that were members up until, let's see, I scheduled it yesterday. So if you were a member before yesterday, you should have received a notification that I scheduled a video. But let me know if you didn't. Again, that was any people, there were 61 of you, I think, that were members prior to when I scheduled it. So you all should have gotten a notification from YouTube. But again, we're learning, so we can chat about that tomorrow night. You guys let me know what you saw. So Deanna, the membership, I appreciate the question. all of the payments are handled directly through YouTube. I don't do any of the payment processing, so the monthly...
I told her.
You did, okay. Yeah, the monthly YouTube membership is all handled through YouTube. Technically Google, right?
Yes.
Will 2 nuggets laying flat fit in this treat box? 2 of them will not. 1 of them will, but it'll be loose. Yeah, it'll be loose. So I have tons of Hershey's Nugget treat boxes. I would say this one's probably not one for nuggets. But if you go to my blog, Darlene, in the upper right corner, there's a little magnifying glass and just search for nugget and you'll see a whole bunch of projects. I do have one a little bit similar to this where it's got the diagonal score lines, but it's 2 nuggets laying flat, kind of, it's more of a vertical treat box, but that one might be what you're looking for. Let's see. So Sherry, the template for now, in the video description, there are links to 2 project sheets, one for the Fun Fold card and one for the treat box. So you'll see included on the treat box or the tiny table favor, you'll see a picture of the template, a picture of the project, the measurements, a QR code that is linked to the video so you can watch the replay, and then 5 featured products that I use, but you'll find that link in the video description. I will ultimately get back to posting the projects to my blog, but for now, the best place to find them is in the video description. Let's see. I won't be able to watch the first Stampin' Chat tomorrow. I'm assuming there will be something for those of us that are replay warriors. Yes, absolutely, Joanne. So you'll be able to watch the replay whenever it's convenient for you. So as soon as the live stream is over, that replay will be available in the same spot that it went live. So, and I will have something special for you guys. I've got an idea in mind of what I'm going to share with my YouTube members. So exclusive content for sure. All right, Erin, again, iPhone. I'm gonna have to figure that one out. I'll Google it after this and see if I can't get an answer to that for next week's live stream for you. So Becky, the list of all my projects, thepaperpixie.com/episodes. You can also find, I think, the episode if you go to projects in one of my menu buttons at thepaperpixie.com, but the easiest way, thepaperpixie.com/episodes. I will update that page tonight with a link to tonight's episode, and I will keep that updated every week. So you've always got a spot to go back to for all of them. Because I used to stream exclusively to Facebook when I first started. I did that for several years. Then we simulcasted to Facebook and YouTube, and now we're exclusively on YouTube. So that's just the best way I could find to kind of put them all in one spot so you're not jumping around. Obviously, the links will take you to either Facebook or YouTube, depending on where that episode aired. Will the snowflake tag topper work? So Linda, actually, next week's 3D project is going to be using the snowflake tag topper punch. But yes, you could certainly try it with this. I can't remember. It goes up to 2 inches in width. This is 1.5 inches. I'm just looking to see width-wise. Yeah. Now, I think what you're gonna find though, Linda, is that these diamonds are gonna be cut right in half. So it might look a little bit strange because 1.5 inches kind of goes right to where those 2 diamonds are. Okay, so the full width of this one is 2 inches. This tiny table favor is 1.5 inches. So you'll just have to kind of see what it looks like. But stay tuned for next week. I'm gonna be using this next week. I think I'm using it for the card as well, but I haven't finished designing that project. Let's see, what stamp set goes with the bow punch? The name of that one, it is Rachel Tessman's $1 Million Set. Did anybody in the chat maybe answer that one?
I don't think so.
I've had a bunch of my customers that have redeemed that for Pixie Perks. Why can't I think of it? Hold on 1 second. Which one is it?
Who is it?
It's the Bow Punch. Oh, no, that's not it. I can't think of that off the top of my head. Hold on, let me check one thing right here. Let's see. If you happen to see it in the chat.
Layering leaves.
Layering Leaves. That one coordinates with the, thank you. The Layering Leaves stamp set is the current one. It's not bundled with the punch, but it coordinates with the punch. All right. Ooh, that's a great question, Iowa girl. I am not vegan, so I'm not an expert at all. So I'm not sure what else would fit. That's a great question. I am not positive, and I'm not sure I could come up with something on the fly that I know is vegan and would fit. I'm looking in my little treat pouch. Yep, I don't know the answer to that off the top of my head, Iowa girl, but that's a great question. If anybody has any suggestions, feel free to drop that in the chat. All right. So the designer series paper, Darlene, was, I can never remember the name of it, Inked Botanicals, from the Inked and Tiled suite, so Inked Botanicals. That was the DSP. Great fall. Fall and summer, really, because of the colors. The scores on the long side, Leslie, were 1 3/4, 2 3/4, and 4 1/2. Great question, Cindy. So the song at the beginning, one, it's copyright free, so I won't get dinged for copyright. I use a service called Epidemic Sound, and I just, spent some time listening to songs on there. You can kind of filter based on if they're joyful and upbeat and happy. I think I kind of used joyful or happy, and I kind of looked at the beats per minute. And just listened to a few songs until I had one that I just kept going back to. I had sort of a short list and then narrowed it down to that one, and I haven't gotten sick of it yet. So that's usually a good sign that it's a good one to stick with. So that's how I picked it. Just loved the sound of it. 8 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow, Becky. Oh, good. Okay, so Yvette, I'm bringing this one up even though it's not a question, but it's helpful for everybody. So it shows up right next to the subscribe button and bell. She signed up on mobile looking at the more. It's to the right-hand side. Do you have your phone pulled up again? Because when I pull up YouTube, I'm looking at my own channel and it just doesn't look the same as you guys see. All right, so I'm going to close out the live chat. And I'm going to click more and more. Interesting. Turning it sideways. I still don't see it. Oh. Yvette, do you maybe have, I bet she has an Android phone.
She probably does, because Google doesn't want you to do anything.
Do you guys notice, like, iPhone sometimes doesn't work? It works with YouTube, but I bet you have an Android phone, Yvette, and Android would, of course, make it easy to join a YouTube because it's all part of the same ecosystem. So I'll try to figure it out for iPhone. Oh, too funny. Awesome, Deanna. You made the folio for Post-it notes.
And cue your brothers throwing some stuff in there.
Is Greg throwing? Well, Greg's got an Android. Yeah. Bubba G has an Android phone as well. So actually, we were just talking. Greg and I actually talked about that while he was here. We were trying to figure out where we could find stuff, and he was seeing something totally different than I was.
Of course.
iPhone versus Android. And Lisa, I bet you have an Android phone as well. All right. Deanna, I've already done one for mini Post-it notes. I'm trying to think of the name of that video. It was Racks to Delight or something. I did 3 different 3D projects in a video. That one I believe is also on my blog. So Deanna, Brian's gonna try to grab that. Or even if you type in rack, try typing in R-A-K. Don't you hate it how it doesn't clear out the search? Brian's gonna grab that for you. I'm gonna keep an eye on it though. Oh, good question, Snow Shadow. What is the best reward you've been given for promoting and selling for Stampin' Up? This is gonna sound really cheesy and cliche. It's nothing monetary or recognition-wise. Honestly, it's when you guys share your stories with me about what you're making for my tutorials and how you're putting that out into the world. I hear so many stories of you guys making 100 or 200 of something and you're giving it to a senior living home, or you're giving it to shut-ins, or you're giving it to for a church ministry. That is the biggest reward that I get. And over the last 13 years, the stories you all have told me about what you're doing is amazing. So keep it up, because I absolutely love when you guys share it with me. It totally gets me right here. So
who's this for?
It's for Deanna Freshwaters. Let's see. You thought I had 2 nuggets standing up when I first showed tonight's project. No, it was just the 4 Andes Mints. But I'm pretty sure, maybe I'll make a liar out of myself. I thought that the Hershey's Nuggets, hold on, let me check.
It's not beyond in there.
What's that?
It's not showing up.
Oh, okay. She's one of my customers. I can send her a message. All right, so let me show you. This is that's 1 nugget. Okay, so there's a little bit of extra space in there. I could put 2, and actually 2 might work. Those are stacked. Will it close? Hold on. All right, so they are gonna shake around in there, but that's 2. I am a liar. You can fit 2. It's not a snug fit, but when you close it, they're not gonna fall out, and it doesn't make it bulge. So yeah, 2 Hershey's Nuggets work as well. They're not vegan, so I don't have an answer for the vegan request, but you can fit 2 Hershey's Nuggets. I lied. All right. Oh, so Deb joined using the More button because she didn't see a join button, and she's on an iPhone. How do I sign up on my iPad? Great question, Jan. I'm not positive, but you could try clicking More in the video description. Yes, I do have a Doth or Dath. There's 2 pronunciations. I call it Doth, but everybody calls it Dath. But anyways, I do. I don't get migraines. I just love the look of it. So it's all healed, and I love it. All right, that is the end of the questions. Look at me trying to organize my my candy. In case you guys ask me questions for different types of candy, I'm always ready to go. So, all right, you guys, you are awesome. Thank you. We reached the end of the Q&A. If you enjoyed tonight's live stream and you learned a great tip or trick or 2, be sure to make sure, I did that last week or the week before. Make sure you hit the like button if you haven't already. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe so you can get notifications when I schedule my next video. I want to thank all of my YouTube members, especially those that joined tonight. We've got our first members only live stream is tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Again, that is an extra live stream just for members. I will still continue to be live every single Wednesday for you here at 8 p.m. Eastern time. We'll be live again next Wednesday, which will be November 1st, the day after Halloween. Is that right? No, next week is not November 1st. Next week, I'm like, that's 2 weeks from today. What is next week? 18 plus 7. October 25th will be my next live stream, episode 304, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I hope you guys have a wonderful and blessed week. If you've got any questions about the starter kit and joining the Stampin' Up! Family, feel free to reach out to me at support@thepaperpixie.com. I can answer all your questions for you. And as always, all you need are stamps, ink, and a little paper pixie. Thank you again to my YouTube members. Here's a little shout out for you as we close out the show. I'll see you all next week. Take good care. Bye.